All right, go ahead. Start over again.
Did you press the record button?
Yeah, it's recording.
Okay. Did you actually?
Yes!
Okay.
Do you want me to check?
Okay, so we just had our Chaos Wars event for the, 4 of you that didn't show up.
Sorry.
No, I mean, like, I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I'm just like, everyone else who
He's
did
just
show
succeeding is all.
up didn't go here today. So, whatever.
So they already know what this is about, eh?
No, they don't.
Oh, well, shit.
But they decided not to show up. So,
Good for them.
So we just had our event, and the total cost and whatever ended up being a deficit of $75.
No. A little bit unknown at the moment because I don't know how much Tiffy actually spent. She hasn't given me receipts, but it was $250 for food for the nighttime, and then I assume $120 for lunch, which is what Tiffany said. So that gives us a total of $370. Gate brought in, after we paid the site, $285.
So about 85. Wait, that was like 90.
Yeah, like
Assume
$90.
100 just to be safe.
Right.
So, well, if you want an exact number, that would be then 370 minus 285, which is $85.
85. Yes, my first guess. So we're $85 short, basically. And Manama has actually paid for the entire thing out of his pocket. He has reimbursed. He has reimbursed Gemma for Feast, and have you already reimbursed?
I already paid them before the event happened. I had to pay them before they bought food.
Okay, so they used the money that you gave them.
Yes, I gave 140 to Tiffany, and I gave 250 to Gemma.
He also paid Heartland for the campsite. So.
But that was out of the money that we received from Gate.
Right.
Yeah.
So, after all is said and done, there is a $85 deficit. So, in the event that we choose to reimburse Manama for everything as a park, both we and Black Marsh would have a reduction. Like, we will pay out of our coffers because, like, excess gate fees plus whatever. And I overheard Black Marsh, specifically I overheard Gemma and Bear talking about taking half of that out of their coffers to pay him. But they have less money than we do. And half of that is half of their coffers. So I'm gonna say...
Well, we don't know what their coffers... No one can tell us what their coffers were at, but they were pretty low.
Right, because I guess they're... Who was their PM?
I don't know.
Okay, well they guessed about $100 or so. And,
We have how much? Mr. Althing, that should have the treasury report. Actually, this is emergency Althing, so I guess it's not applicable in a way.
But I have it here. We have 270 better than they can. And I just don't want them to lose like half or a third of their coffers to make up for this when we could eat a large portion of that and still be okay. So that's what this whole thing is for.
How much did we have again? I'm sorry.
$277.51.
Okay.
Which is quite a bit. That's going to be way more than enough we need for planning our next coordination.
And just to be clear, the reason why I decided to not ask the parks for the money in the first place was because 277 plus whatever their funds was going to barely maybe equal that $370 that was required for food that I predicted, right? So that would have I literally would have asked for all the coffers for each park, and then at the end I would have been like, well, but it didn't pay for it. Like I'd be giving back less than what I took from them in the first place, and we couldn't have taken evenly from both parks, which is not really that good for when you're talking about an event, because how do you split up funds after that if both parks didn't pay evenly into it in the first place? Also, I stopped recording for a second, so I'm sorry. This is part 2.
Okay, so Yeah, I wouldn't expect them to pay evenly anyway, just because we have a healthier store of money. Anima has offered, or has declared that he refuses to take money from either of us. So, I don't know exactly how this is going to happen, but in the event that we do end up paying, agreeing to reimburse him back, and we stuff it in his pockets without him noticing, or something like that. I would like for us to bear a larger burden than Black Marsh. I was suggesting about 75%. I thought the deficit was 100, so it would have been $75. But if it's $85, then this is like 61, 62.
Hold on, there's a train. There's no way that anyone can hear this question.
This happens
Perfect
at every
timing.
althing.
Good job, trains. Perfect timing.
Every althing is happening.
Now let me just get closer to Dauber. Here we go. Okay, ask your question.
Alright, so if Manama has refused to accept any reimbursement from either park, why don't you just figure out, okay, what each park would have reimbursed him, and then just use that money to help both parks, whoever needs a ride or any kind of money to help them get to Keep, since Keep's coming up in a month. Just use that money to help the people get to Keep.
That's not a bad idea. I would like to hold that specific decision later because this is a last-minute althing.
Sure.
So, regarding any other, usage of our funds in any other way, even that portion used in any other way, I would like to have that at a future althing. Also, I would like to note that don't ever do this. I literally called the althing last night. This is a horrible thing to do. Future PMs, officers in any park, don't ever do this. I just needed to do this because reasons.
Well, Black Marsh's all thing on this matter is Saturday, which is before we meet next week.
Right, which is why I needed to do this today.
But
So,
as a side note, I plan on being at that all thing as well, though I may not be there. And the goal is I will also mention that I'm not going to accept reimbursement from them if they decide to try to vote it. But they might try to do alternate things, which I'm going to try to convince them not to, since they have almost no funds.
okay. So here's my proposal. And this will be entirely conditional. No money will be taken out of the coffers at this moment. But it may, an increase in it may happen in the future. I can't words. Anyway, so here's my proposal. In the event that we reimburse Manama fully for all of his costs regarding, not including gate, but, or whatever, but like as far as paying for this event goes, I would like to take the money we get, the excise money we got from gate, plus $62 as reimbursement, and so that whatever is left over, Black Marsh will, not take as much of it. It'll have to be like $25.
I'm confused about what you're trying to say there.
So like,
Instead of making it a 50-50 split to pay you back,
No,
we'll make it more like an 80.
I understand that part. I don't understand your part about the minus gate part. Because what do you mean by that? Are you because currently we brought in.
I mean, because you paid for gate.
I mean, out of the coffers that we got from the gate.
I mean,
out of the money
your
we.
personal gate fees, your $20 gate fees to get in the park.
Oh, my personal
Yeah,
cost?
we're not reimbursing that. I'm talking about I'm being very specific in that this is the amount that you spent for our food and for the campgrounds.
He's basically saying reimburse you for everything minus your gate fees.
Your personal
Minus
costs.
you paying.
Oh, that's what you. Okay, I thought you were trying to say excluding the money that we took in from gate too. I was like, what are you talking
Yeah,
about?
you don't get any of that back.
But yeah, that's what I meant. Like excluding personal costs.
Okay.
For this, if we reimburse him, I would like that deficit to be 75% us and 25% Black Marsh. At a minimum. Like, if they don't want to pay any into it, then I would be okay with paying further. But when I argued with them about it last night, they said the lowest they'll go is 50%. I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want them to have to pay half of that deficit out of their coffers, because that will be a lot larger hit.
I understand us taking on a larger portion of the
Yes.
split because we have it available, but if they're going to raise a fuss about accepting taking a lower split, I don't think it's worth forcing the issue. I'd say just 50-50 and walk away if that's what they're going to insist on.
Well, I disagree.
I mean, it sounds like in a lot of ways we're forcing our money towards a lot of places that those places don't want it. I mean, both towards Black Marsh and towards Manama, and everybody's just like, no, we don't want it. And we're like, no, you're gonna take it. If they don't want it.
Out of context quotes.
Yes, I mean, that is exactly what I'm doing.
How about we just settle it on the battlefield?
Let's not, because Manama will win.
So my point stands.
Right. So that's what I'm gonna do. So, like, in the event
Jeez, babe.
we do our reimbursement, we will take a larger portion, a 75% of that deficit from our coffers.
I am weapon master of both parks, so.
He is.
Hey, I should beat him occasionally, sometimes,
That's what it
once
was.
in a while.
Yeah, if you do 100 matches against Manama, you're bound to win at least one.
No one has 0%
It's only
against
if
me.
he lets you in.
No one has 0% against anybody.
Yeah. No, I lose against everyone. At least occasionally. But yes, that is
Gotta
my
keep up with
proposal.
appearances, huh?
Would anyone like to change that proposal? Okay.
Alright.
Okay. So on the so the vote is, in the case where we reimburse Manama and we somehow convince him to take our money, or make him take our money, we will take a 75% of the deficit towards him, so that Black Marsh does not take more than that. All right. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 MIGs, which means this is 4 MIGs to vote yes for this to pass.
What?
What? Right?
So not 75. Why does it need to be 75%?
Because if it's 3-3, it's
Oh,
majority.
that's fair.
Yeah, majority. All right, all in favor?
If we can get all those stars to line up, sure.
Yeah, I'll just look at the other people real quick. Alright.
It's
Uh,
very conditional.
Right.
I mean, he's not going to take the money, right? So it's
5.
seems
Kind of a
That's
moot
fine.
point.
All right.
Yeah.
All opposed?
He's not going to take the money. Black
Next
Marsh
one.
isn't going to let us
And all abstain?
split it that way, but we're
All right, cool. I was actually just gonna be like, let's give him $75, but I was like, we
that's
don't
like
know all the information.
90,
so.
10. So
My demands are all in quarters and you have to make it hail.
I can do that.
No, we're not
Yeah.
doing this.
I can do that.
No.
Start pegging you at 20.
no, he's
No.
giving us
Demand-
demands.
No.
Now we have-
No, I renege.
Okay, so because this was an emergency althing and I would like no other issues to be presented, does anyone have anything they would like to bring up? Raise your hands. I'm tabling that. I'm also tabling that.
Damn him.
Okay, motion to close the althing. I'm tabling that.
Oh,
He's tabling the motion to close the Alvin.
All right, motion to close. All in favor?
Now.
Aye. All right, cool. Althing ended.